Shalom, 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 shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Radash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone of Teaching Rule Well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect scattered abroad that's out here doing this work in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Bach from Prophecy Babylon Camp, coming at you with a quick sit down through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 2. It says, so that thou incline thine ear unto wisdom and applying thy heart to understanding. Right, man? That's why, the saying is, the Lord gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, man. It's time to listen, man. If you talking, you ain't listening, you ain't understanding. It says, so incline thy ear unto wisdom, so you listening what's going on, man. It says, and apply thine understanding to heart, man. Living by these scriptures, man, these laws, statutes, and commandments. Not just being a Israelite on Saturdays or in front of the camera. It says, if thou criest after knowledge and lifteth up thy voice for understanding, we crying after this truth, man. This is all we have. Because in this life, man, scriptures say, this is not our rest, man. So it's no need of getting comfortable here. So, we crying after that knowledge and understanding. That's that wisdom, And it says, and lift up thy voice for understanding. If thou seekest her as seeketh Salakia. If thou seekest her as silver and searchest for her as for hid treasures, then shalt thou understand that the fear of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and find the knowledge of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. That's what we seeking after, man. That true knowledge, man. That's what keep us at peace. In these rough times, man. And and these rough times just getting started, man. This is just the beginning of sorrows, man. The Lord ain't even amped it up yet, man. It says then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord. It says, and find the knowledge of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. For the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai giveth wisdom, and out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. And that's what we need. We need that knowledge and understanding. Because we gonna need it in these times we coming in. Because when Jacob's trouble come, all hell gonna be breaking loose. You ain't gonna know what to do, man. It's gonna be the Lord guiding us, with that knowledge and that wisdom, man. I'm gonna go to the book of to Zechariah chapter 13. This is Zechariah chapter 13. I'll start at verse 8. It says, and it shall come to pass that in the land, that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, and the third shall be left therein. 2 parts, man. Majority of Jay gotta die, man. 2/3. And it says what? The third shall be left. That 1/3, man, the elect. And it says, I will bring the third part through the fire and will refine them as silver is refined. Right, man. We gotta go through that hell, man. We gotta go through all adversity. The Lord is refining us, man. Getting those impurity, out of his precious gold, man. That's us. Just like you got these athletes that train, doing training, trying to be the best athlete they can be. Going through all those serious and rough workouts and things like that, man, to become a pro, man. It's the same thing. We training our minds. We fasting, we praying to the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. We doing the work of the real professionals, man. To hell with these professional athletes, man. They training for shit that can get stolen from them, taken from them. We training. We out here doing this for the Lord Yahweh Shai, man. You know, this can't be taken from us, man. You know, it says, and I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them, and I will say it is my people, and they shall say the Lord Yahweh Shai is my power. Right, man? We calling on the true name, the true name of Yahweh Shai, man, in truth and sincerity, man. You know, you don't just call on the name just to call on it, man. You know, you call on it in truth and sincerity, bro. Because if you calling on it in truth and sincerity, man, the Lord will heal you, man. The Lord will deliver you through whatever you're going through, man. You know, the Lord. How do you know somebody, man? You know them by their name, their true name. You know, you got people. You got your homeboy. You know, you got a nickname, or you know. But if you know his real name, you know his birth name. You know him, man. You know. They don't know these people out here. They don't know the Lord, man. How you gonna know somebody you don't even know their damn name? You know. I'm gonna go to the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 24. This is Proverbs chapter 24, verse 10. It says, if thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. Wow. You know, and that's a lot of these fucking jakes, man. You know, then they don't believe in nothing, man. You know, something gotta happen to them, you know, in order for them to try to even believe, man. It says they faint in the day of adversity. You know, look at these niggas, man. These niggas can't go a day without fasting. These niggas can't go an hour without eating, man. You know, America just fucking living it up, man. They got it so easy. But what's gonna happen when the Lord put that adversity on their ass, man? Say they gonna fucking faint, man. A faint, you just pass the fuck out, man. You know? You gonna be having motherfuckers pass the fuck out for not having a damn cheeseburger for 5-10 hours, or not having breakfast, or not having a morning coffee, man. All hell finna start breaking loose, man. And these niggas don't even know, bro. So their strength is small, man. What about the elects? You know, you got brothers that fast days at a time, man. This ain't gonna be shit to us, man. When we come in those days, man. The Lord is training us up now, man, getting us ready for Jacob's trouble, man. We have to take full advantage of that. I'm gonna go to the book of James. James chapter 1. It says, my brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into divers temptation, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, man. You know, we gonna be tried, brothers. That it is what it is, man. This ain't no game, bro. It ain't no walk in the park, man. You don't go from level 1 to level 10 and not even stumble, man. Hell no, man. We gonna be dodging and jumping and running, everything, man. You know, that's the Lord, you know, refining us, man. You know, trying us, you know, to be perfect. It says, knowing that the trying of your faith worketh patience, but let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and the entire, wanting nothing, man. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, man. You know, you gotta let that patience work, man. You can't rush trying to be patient, man. You know, you gotta sit there, you know, and take it, man. Take it how it goes, man. You gotta roll with the punches, so to say, man. You gotta roll with it, man. I'm gonna go to the book of Second Corinthians. The 2 Corinthians chapter 4. This is It's Corinthians chapter 2. No, so like it's 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8. It says, we are troubled on every side, yet not distressed, right, man? You know, brothers catching hell left and right, man. You know, but we not distressed, man. We know this is supposed to happen. It says we are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken, man. You know, brothers getting persecuted every day, man. But the Lord hasn't forsaken us. The Lord is right there beside us, man, watching us, you know, making sure we safe, even though we are persecuted. It says cast down, but not destroyed. We not destroyed, bro. You know, we in this flesh, of course. We not destroyed, though. You know, the Lord keep on pushing us, man. The Lord keep pushing us past our breaking point, you know. And we still going. That's why we still here, you know, serving the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai in truth and sincerity, man. It says cast down but not destroyed, always bearing in the body the dying of the Lord Yahweh Shai, that the life also of Yahweh Shai might be made manifest in our body. You know, the Lord died on that cross, man, for us to be able to keep on pushing. That's all we have, man. You know, it says, for which we live are always delivered unto the death of Hamashiach's sake, that the life also of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, might be made manifest in our mortal flesh. You know, we catching hell in these bodies, man. But we seen what Yahweh Shai had to go through, man. You know, in our past life, we seen what Yahweh Shai had to go through. You know, so now we pushing, you know, to the best of our ability, man. You know, it won't be in vain what Yahweh Shai did for us, man. You know, you got true men of the Lord out here, man, pushing this work. You know, it says, so then death worketh in us, but the life in you, man. You know, this truth, man. We have this truth. This is our life. This is what keeps us going, man. You know, you got Jake still out here dead, man, and dead asleep in a dead estate, man. You know, that's never gonna wake up, man. Put that in perspective, man. You got people out here that's never gonna wake up, bro, to the truth until it's that time. It's a blessing to be in this truth, man. You know, this truth is gonna require, you know, more and more sacrifice from us, man. You know, you might have to give up a house. You might have to give up your job. You might have to give up your kids, man. This truth is gonna require everything of us, man. And if you haven't already, you know, have it in your mind that you're gonna lose it, are you really in this truth, man? For the real reason, man. You know, because everything is a sacrifice when it comes to this truth, man. You know, but you know, not to get too off topic. You know, that's pretty much the point on that, man. You know, it's time, man. It's time to sacrifice and dig deep, man. You know, we in this last stretch. You know, trying to make it to that chariot, man. You know, but yeah, that's pretty much all on that, man. Lord willing, you were edified. Until next video, Shalom.